Craft Brews and Casual Conversations. We have Rob Squared. We have the double dose of Robbage. We have just we have one who is incredibly attractive, intelligent, very well spoken, and
Rob Phillips.
It tickles me in places I didn't know I could be tickled. And we have another one who is my co-host. So this is
I knew it. I knew it. I don't like this at all.
It's Dudes with Brews on the Porch.
Cue it.
You're about to hear the greatest show of your life.
Dude.
Dudes with Brews on a porch with Rob and Drew.
Beautiful. Three.
You know that's his daughter.
Yeah,
I love it.
That's my daughter a long time ago.
Did you card her first? I mean, for the beer?
What's that?
Did you card her first for the beer?
She drinks root beer. So, we're kind of in the beer family, I guess. But Rob Weldon is here, along with Burbank Bob. That's what we're going to call him to not create any confusion on this episode. 3 people on the show, 3 beers. Let's get to it. I am drinking Revolution Brewing Company from Chicago, Illinois. The Pursuit of Freedom, their strawberry lemonade. It's been very wintry in Wisconsin, and it's going to continue to be wintry. I need a little dose of summer in my goddamn life, so I'm reaching for this fresh lemonade and juicy strawberries highlights the latest Freedom Series Session Sour made with real fruit. It is 4.5 ABV. It is a little bit of a sour, but it tastes like a gosh darn Arnold Palmer, baby, and I'm all about it. I love it very much. So I sipped it before, and it was good. Rob Weldon, do you have the information for your beer, or would you like me to read it?
I'll say the first part if you've got more to add to it. This is from Allagash. Is that Delaware? Hop Reach IPA. It's 6.8%, which is a little bit less. Like out here in California, the West Coast IPAs tend to be 7.1, 7.2. A tiny bit less than usual. I have not tasted it yet, so I don't know if I should wait.
It's from Portland, ME. Is that Maine?
Portland, Maine.
Yeah, Portland, Maine. Right. So it's blooming with citrusy and tropical hop notes. This IPA is brewed for the perfect balance of full-bodied flavor and refreshment. This IPA, our first year-round take on the style, was developed with input from their entire staff to achieve a refreshing balance of complexity and drinkability. Dang.
There you go.
And then Burbank Bob, you are...
You go ahead. You do it. You go.
Okay, you are drinking and enjoying, hopefully, the Alvarado Street Brewery Cruisin' U.S. Haze. It's a collaboration beer, actually, with North Park Beer Company, both California breweries. So they teamed up with a friend at North Park Beer Company and engineered this thrill ride of a hazy triple IPA that runs on the high-test, race-only hop juice. We boosted the flavor with adrenaline-inducing amounts of Mosaic, Citra, HBC, 586, Netricon, and Nelson across 3 different dry hops. It fills your nose with notes of dry pineapple, navel orange wedges, passion fruit, and mango. And this is just while it is idling, baby. This is just an idle. When you really get into it, you will find yourself floating through the thrilling blur of tropical flavor that leaves a trail of dank haze behind. Heyo, North Park is 420 miles away. Coincidence? Maybe. If you hit a gold pedal twice in a quick succession, it will shoot flames out of the back. Maybe. Or will it shoot flames out of the back? Maybe. Do a wheelie and put you back in your seat? It just might. Don't tell us we didn't warn you. God damn. That is
no wonder they didn't put that on the can.
Somebody got paid money for that.
Yeah, by the word.
Absolutely. 11%
by the
ABV.
Maybe, I think.
11% ABV for you. So 3 different kinds of beer.
Yeah, you were kidding. Well, cheers.
Triple dry hop. I can really taste the orange in this. It's not so much the pineapple. I don't know if it's because it's dry.
I actually get pineapple notes in mine, though.
Good.
Okay.
What about you, Drew? How's your first sip, even though you took it off mic?
It's good. It tastes like a little bit of a kind of an Arnold Palmer, I would say, like a strawberry lemonade rendition of it, and it reminds me of summer. But then when I look outside, it's not so summer, and it's disappointing and depressing. So,
well, we got snow here. If it makes you feel better,
weekend, like right here in Burbank,
we're getting more tomorrow. It's supposed to be like 7 inches, so can't wait. A number that most men can't live up to, 7 inches, especially in the snow department. Okay, so Rob Weldon.
Yeah, definitely not when it's cold. That's for sure.
Rob Weldon is here. He is an author. He has so we talked to him. First podcast ever he did was this one, and he's done a million since, but none of them live up to the expectations as this one. I'm sure they're all good. You should listen to them, but like ours a little bit more. He's back again, and since his last appearance, he has released not one but 2 books.
2 more books.
2 more books of the Omnist series. Let's I guess, which one do you want to start with? What do you want to talk about? We're not prepared, so you tell us.
Yeah, that's all good. When I was on the podcast at the end of August, I had 1 book out at the time. It's called Consummate Spiritual Emporium. You can see Burbank Bob's got this lovely shirt on.
It's beautiful.
Since then, in October, I published Mostly Human, Mostly Cat. We talked about that on the podcast, that it was coming out. If you have an ex-girlfriend that had 11 cats, you might decide to write a book about an ex-girlfriend turning people into cats. I don't know. The 3rd book just came out about a month ago. It's called The Omnist and the Cosmic Egg. And it might be the most twisted. It's certainly the most twisted of the 3 books. There's a condition called Cotard's delusion. This is a real condition. It's very rare, though. Like maybe 2 people in a billion have it at any given moment. It's kind of weird. You literally think you're dead, to the point where you may not eat for 3 days because dead people don't need to eat. Or you might walk into traffic because you're a ghost. They can't see you. They're just going to drive through you. So it can actually be very dangerous to have Cotard's delusion. So this guy has it. And his son, he's extremely agoraphobic. So he won't go in. He has issues being around other people and whatever. But he's mildly psychic, and he sees words just appearing above people's heads, and he calls them flailing words. But those words pertain to that person. So he's actually reading something from these people's energy or whatever, but it comes out as words. And his theory is that words are constantly attacking you throughout the day. And when you burn out, it's because you can't fend off words anymore. So when he sleeps, he won't sleep unless he's like shielded from them. So basically he's created an egg that he sleeps in. And that protects words from attacking him while he's sleeping, because he doesn't want them infiltrating his dreams and changing his behavior tomorrow or whatever. And this is the Cotard's delusion son. You know what I mean? I think that's really twisted. And the older sister, so dad, son and sister, she works at Consummate Spiritual Emporium. So you get the tie-in through all the books. There's always the Emporium involved, but there's always brand new people you've never met before that are using the Omnist app for different reasons. Okay. So that was the long-winded. That's not quite an elevator pitch, but
that's all right. And that was something I was
going
to ask.
I won't say anymore because it gives away what happens in the book.
I will say, I don't know. Did we talked about the first book on the last episode? I've now read the 2nd book.
Oh, that's right.
So if we want to stick to that, because I have the 3rd book in my bookshelf, we'll post pictures of everything so that you guys can search it and know that it's the right Rob Weldon. I think
there's only one Rob Weldon on Amazon. So
I'm just I'm used to there being 2 Robs and people.
But not Rob Weldon.
Yeah.
All right.
So but we'll still, just because I listened to you on a different podcast, and the guy had pictures, he had graphics. He said Phil, can you show graphic 1?
He had
please?
A producer.
Yeah, and I want to get this shit right. We're gonna nail this down. We're gonna have pictures of the books.
I could do that. I could do that on here if I had it front loaded. and it was more
But
prepared.
Phil's a dog, so he doesn't know how to put the pictures up. That's what the problem is.
Phil the dog.
They don't see all the colors of the spectrum either. So like,
yeah. So if you want to, we can
talk about mostly human, mostly cat.
And now I was talking to somebody that a mutual friend of ours, and I was like, I think I'm just gonna spoil it, and I don't know if you want me to do it, because I go at this point the second book's been out for a while, and there's interesting themes in the book.
I think you can go ahead and spoil it,
and it's like, so I think if we say now, go read the book to our listeners. Like I'm telling you, if you listen to this podcast, if you've been listening to this podcast. Go get it on Kindle, go get it in paperback, go get it in hardcover, whatever you want. I'm telling you, you're gonna like these books, and just pause it and go, because this is a weird medium. You can pause it right now and come back after you read the book. So now we've officially done this. The spoiler alert.
That's right.
So to me, like I'm gonna say, there's an interesting take on.
Just so you know, that for the people listening, the second book is called Mostly Human, Mostly Cat.
Yeah, you should give a little description of it quick, and then we'll get into it.
I don't know how far to go because I don't know what point you're going to make right now, but basically the book starts with this witch going to Consummate Spiritual Emporium and buying herbs that she needs for a particular spell she's going to do. It's their 1-year anniversary, her and her boyfriend, and he also, a little bit after she was at the Emporium, he shows up to buy her a present for their dinner as well. And they have vastly different ideas of what's going to happen at this dinner. He was afraid she was going to break up with him, but then she got very, very lovey and whatever. And now he thinks she's going to ask him to move in with her. He doesn't want to. He's allergic to cats. She has 5 cats.
Red flag number 1.
But she's planning something more devious than just having dinner with him.
I would never date somebody with 5 cats.
Yeah, I dated a girl with 11 cats, and I'll tell you what, it made me write a book.
So you can say you know your ways around a cat.
Well, that sounds weird.
But
I'm
weird,
allergic.
yeah.
But I'm allergic to cats. So like when I was dating her, I was popping Benadryl like Tic Tacs.
And that's the amazing part. And now that we've already done the spoiler alert, we'll do this again. The spoiler alert. Stop listening. Go read the fucking book. You asshole. You're trying to scam the system.
I haven't read the book yet, so I'm an asshole now.
Read the book. Yeah, Drew, it's just going to get spoiled for you.
That's fine.
I'm sorry.
I'll read it.
And I'll say this won't even spoil the book. What's interesting to me is like of the multiple perspectives that are put into this book, which there's 3 main perspectives that you write from.
Right.
2 of them are in this relationship, and especially for Harper, one of the main characters. The interesting thing to me, that Harper and the cats that she has created out of her exes, there's this idea of kind of like going with the flow of trauma, sort of, where it's like something bad happens and they all just kind of go like, this stuff happens and I'm going to find a way to be okay with it. And there's something like really, I don't know if this is what you were trying to do, but I was just talking to a really good friend of mine today, actually, and we were having a conversation. And in the aftermath, I was like, this is what Rob's book talks about, where it's like with me and my drug addiction, like in the aftermath, like I sat in it for so long. And and when things came to their conclusion of like, I've gotten through it, I don't look back on it and go, fuck this, fuck. I'm not mad about it. I wasn't mad about it. Right. I learned so much from it, and I found a reason to go, this is the life that I have. Is that something you were trying to do, where
are you saying that they're not mad about it anymore? That they didn't? Because the thing is that every one of these cats, after the human was changed, they didn't know it was coming, obviously. They all escaped. They all came back because being a cat living in the wild in the city is extremely dangerous. It's extremely hard. You're going to get killed. There's traffic. It's hard to find food. People don't like you. But they realized that at least by going back to her, they'd get fed, they have shelter, and she was a better cat mother than a girlfriend.
Okay.
Like, so they actually realized, like, she didn't want them to leave. She tried to keep them in. Like, she didn't let them outside. But at some point, they all escaped at a certain point. And they're like, well, I'm a human. I can do this. And it's like, maybe the reason cats do that is because they don't have a human brain. You know, now you got a human mind in there. And I don't know that I could do it. I sure as hell don't think I could do it, you know? And that's what I wrestled with this whole time was like, really, 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 what's it like to be a cat? Like, for real. Like, because we always personify animals and we think they should do this or should do that. And it's like, yeah, well, try being a cat. Like, I don't know that you really would. So slowly over time, you've got Spike, who's been cat for like 17 years. Like, he's already lost all his humanness. He's just fully cat. He's just like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. He thinks he's been a cat for 50 years. Like, he has no idea how short it's actually been. And so the longer you're a cat, the less human you are. You forget being human. That's why Steve still remembers everything. He's fighting it. He's like, you know, second love, thermodynamics guy. Like, he's entropy. I'm not letting myself dissolve into this other form of being. And that's also why he helps, you know, the situation out. You know what I mean? But then for Harper, though, she's learning that lesson too, like how hard it is to be out there. And she's like, I can be a fucking cat. But she doesn't go back to the house to rescue the other cats. She just wants to be with Cherry. Yeah. So, but she's learned that Cherry was the only one she ever regretted turning into a cat.
In the aftermath of everything, at the end of the book, it turns out like Jerry, and you have to read the book to find out how this happens, but Jerry becomes human, and Harper is still a cat, except for in the 3 days of the waning full moon, the full moon and the waxing full moon. Yeah. In which case, Jerry turns into a cat, and Harper turns back into a human, essentially saying you'll never both be the same thing at the same time. But that's where the thing that I'm talking about is in the trauma of that. That's a very sad story, but they find a way to accept it and go like, you know what? The relationship between a human and a cat is like the cat gets all this love, gets all this attention, gets all these things, and then for 3 days it switches, and the other person gets to soak up all this love in a different format. They get to soak up the petting, they get to soak up being cared for those 3 days, and it's like it takes the idea of a very sad love story and goes, it puts a twist on it in a way where it's like, oh, this should be terrible and horrific, and the saddest thing you've ever heard. It's true love that can never be together. It's a weird Romeo and Juliet type situation, but where everybody involved just goes like, you know what, I can make this work, and they do. So that's what my question was like, that was a thing that was that a thing that you thought about it while you started?
I don't think I thought that on purpose, but I'm realizing that like all of the cats do that to a certain extent, and that includes Harper and Cherry at the end. And as much as you say like loving as far as like a relationship, they learn how to make it work and whatever, but it's still fucked up.
It's totally,
it is super sad because they really are going to be, they're never going to be together. They wanted to be together in a more romantic way, and it'll never happen. And I think it's torture. Have you ever seen Being John Malkovich?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Like, I'll admit that influenced me a little bit in the idea. Like,
well, and that's, I mean, because that was one of those things where, and Drew, as somebody who hasn't read the book, are you keeping up? Does any of this make sense? Okay, so we're not doing our job here.
We're going to cut a lot of this shit out.
Does it make you want to read the book?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll read it.
All right, then it's doing its job.
What's it like to have somebody describe the thing that you wrote to you?
Is that what I've been doing? I think so.
Yeah, and it's
100%.
Weird, but you are getting it right. So like it's interesting because it's a new viewpoint. One of the reasons that the first book is only 2 POVs, but all of the sequels are 3. And part of the reason that I do 3 is that I feel like I'm triangulating the truth better. And what's interesting is that I thought I had it. I mean, of course I did with 3 viewpoints, but now I'm getting a 4th.
Mm-hmm.
And because he's actually right about everything that he's saying, I find it very interesting because it's some of these things I haven't thought about. I haven't thought about. I did not intentionally do the acceptance thing, but I feel like that's part of the human condition.
That's to me that's
Buddhism. That's Buddhism.
The theme of the book. And we haven't talked about this.
No, at all.
Only for a brief moment in a crowded room did I talk to him about a few things, but we have not talked about my actual thoughts on the book and what it's actually saying. And one of the beautiful things about this and the way that Rob writes is I read half the book. And then I set it down. I didn't read it for a few weeks. And in that few weeks, I was like literally going like, the first book was better. I was like, I got a lot of problems. And I brought it up to you. I was like, I don't get. And you said just the second half of the book it turns into a whole different thing.
Well, all my books do that.
And as I was reading the second half, like I literally like chuckled to myself and I'm like, this son of a bitch. He did it again.
Well, that's good.
Every concern that I had for the first half of the book, like he answered all like every. I didn't have questions as much as I was like, I don't get this. I don't get why he would do this. And all of it came back around. All of it like that. Meanwhile, we haven't even talked about. There's a third perspective in the book. A character who is dealing with the death of her one-day husband. Not even. No, her minutes. 1 hour, her one minute husband. Yeah. Literally, they got married and he died right after.
From book 1. Yeah.
Well, speaking,
and this is book 1. Yeah.
All right. So the gist of it, read the books.
You should read like they're really they open up this world which is it's in our reality, but it also is just parallel. It's like Star Trek when you're just out of phase.
We've talked a lot about Rob's books.
He's looking at his watch.
We've talked a lot.
Let's move it along.
There is something because you've talked about the writing process, Rob, a little bit, and so Burbank Bob obviously is also a writer, right? So we got 2 writers in the room
working on that.
So I drafted some potential writing ideas on when the Omniscient series is complete, it's successful.
I love this guy.
When it's a successful movie, when it's when it's the next, like we're above Harry Potter, and when Burbank Bob is a big publisher too. I got some ideas that I think could be the next big thing, and I want you two to just dissect it a little bit. So, the first challenge I have for you is to write the most boring story possible.
It's virtually impossible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the point of it is to make it so boring.
Hey, you know what? I think that the most boring story
possible.
I'm gonna just off the cuff. I'm gonna say most people's instinct would go, oh, the most boring story possible would be a guy wakes up and he doesn't leave his room.
That's not boring.
And to me, I go, no, that's the most interesting story.
That's the metamorphosis.
Because
from, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
so the most boring story is like Die Hard. It's a bunch of action, a bunch of shit that you think is interesting, but it's happening of its own volition. Because it's like when you go, oh, a guy sits in a room in the dark, that's the most boring story. Read some H.P. Lovecraft. That shit, his mind will play tricks on him that no reality could ever cover. That's my thing.
But is it a Christmas movie?
I'm not going to say it's the most boring story ever, but I have very little attraction to stories where I feel like I can see the 3-part narrative like just hanging there, like it's a hanger hanging in front of me.
Yeah.
Like say you make clothes for a living and you have to put them on a dress form, but I'm still seeing the dress form, not the clothes. Because it's literally, I see all your plot points and your turns and your timing for everything. Okay, something's going to happen here. Boom, something happens. It's like, I hate that kind of predictability. So what I'm trying to do is turn like the cliches on their ear, like the expectations on their ear, but like not in a M. Night sort of way. Like I'm not trying to like blow your mind. Oh my God, I never saw it. Like it should still make sense. It should still be there. But like, even if something seems mundane and it might be boring for a minute, you know, something's going to happen. At least I want it to feel like something's building, and the mental for what I'm doing is like, I want the mental state to change throughout the book. So someone starts the book in one headspace and they finish it in a completely different headspace that they never saw coming, but it's very often gradual. So if people are looking for that big action thing or whatever, it's not necessarily going to happen all the time. Things do happen, but they're not when you expect them to.
All right.
So it's a little bit different. So I find that more interesting.
Can we edit out my earlier answer and somehow put this in here where it sounds like I'm being really funny and witty, and I go, the most boring story ever, Godfather 3.
I could edit it and I could do it, but I won't. And,
what you want, I know you want.
But so that's one writing idea I have. Another one, I want you to describe the process of making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in the most horrific way possible, where we don't know you're making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You just have to describe it. Like, yeah, these are you don't have to do it now. I'm just saying. Future.
Oh, I thought you wanted us to do this.
I mean, if you want to, you can. Future franchise, just like really, really weird ways.
I'm literally in my head thinking of the crunching of when you unscrew the jelly lid, and it's got crusted jelly on the screws.
And how much I love chunky peanut butter and how horrific it is to try to spread on bread.
Oh my God, it's a massacre.
Like it's a massacre. Yeah.
It's Antietam. It's Antietam on bread.
You could call it lunch, and then just this grotesque, like disgusting, like horror type of scene. So
why am I blanking on the name of the hazelnut spread?
It's a fucking A. What is it? It's
Nutella, yes.
Nutella.
Thank you. I love that stuff.
Yeah, you could.
I've got a little Nutella.
You were in the pool.
I was in the pool. I waded.
I got a little Nutella.
Yeah.
The next one,
That's oh my God.
I don't know what happened with the Nutella in the pool, but one day we'll find out.
That's a sign.
He said I got a little Nutella.
I got a little Nutella. I was in the pool.
Oh.
Shrinkage. It's a shrinkage joke.
I got it. Okay. The next one, you write about the pandemic, but from the view of COVID. So you think?
Oh, absolutely.
God, that's brilliant. You're basically writing the story of Napoleon or the Persian Empire.
Because COVID, they're the ones putting out the misinformation, the disinformation.
Kind of.
They're the anti-vax.
Well, they also have. So you have half the people that are terrified of you, right? So COVID, half the people are really afraid of you. They don't want you around. They want nothing to do with you. And the other half believe you don't have what it takes to be a pandemic.
Legit.
This
guy's amazing.
That's legit. I
would
would read the fuck out of that.
That'd be a good story. And you know what? Nobody knows, what the right answer is, I guess.
You should edit this part out because that's going to get stolen.
That's going to get stolen, dude.
Trademarked. I just trademarked it.
Yeah,
by saying it.
Right?
You declared trademark.
Trademark copyright. I'll sue you. And then the last thing I have are step-by-step instructions on how to be an adult.
I
can't do that. I don't know.
That's a listicle. There's a million of those out there.
Is there?
Doesn't mean they're good. Doesn't mean they're right.
Yeah.
But that's not as original as your other stuff.
All right.
For the longest time, I will say this, and maybe I brought this up on the podcast before. I don't know, but there was a while, and I still kind of believe this, where it's the more you have to tie your shoe, the more adult you are. That's kind of I do have that theory. The more buckles and ties and things you have on your shoe.
But then when you get even older, you have Velcro.
Go back to Velcro.
That's because we revert back into babies. 2001 told us that.
But you said adults.
Yeah. So we don't. We go from immature to adult back to immature, where we poop our pants and we need slip-ons.
So
I'm really old.
You're getting, you know, look at you got
I'm like
you got,
95
yeah. His shoes tie,
Dude, I've
everybody.
pooped 3 times since I've been sitting here.
well, when you're so Rob, when you're not writing, you know, or like you put the draft down for a little bit, are you writing on other things? Are you just doing like little anecdotes like that?
I don't ever stop. I don't put the draft down.
This guy's focused as a mother.
As soon as I finish a draft, I start it over and I just keep going. I do it again, and then after 5 drafts, it goes to my editor. And then while she's got it, I'm working on the next book. Okay. And then when she's done, it comes back to me and I do revisions for 2 or 3 more drafts. And then it goes out to my proofreader and I go back to that other book again. So like I'm always staggering the books. So I'm bouncing back and forth, but I'll work on it for like a month at a time. So it's not like.
Do you ever just go mad?
No. This is what's keeping me from going mad. I was probably crazier before. In fact, I know I was. I 100% know I was. This is focusing me like nothing else ever has.
That's good. That's good. And you have, I mean, there's more coming out, right? You said 7?
Yeah, I mean, so when I published book 3, that was the same time that I sent the book 4 to my proofreader.
Nice.
So that's done. So book 4 was done when book 3 was done. Came out. And then so I'm about to deliver draft 5 of book 5 to my editor on the 21st in just a few weeks. When that book's done will be when book 4 comes out.
Dang.
So I don't have an exact date yet because, you know, that's what's cool about it. I don't have a gun to my head. I can just choose the date. Well, I think I'll be done by that point, and then I can release the previous one.
Is it easier, do you think, nowadays to be a writer in the world of kind of like self-publishing, or do you think having like that proverbial gun to your head would be more beneficial?
Oh, repeat that last part.
Like, so, like, you know, I don't really know what it takes to be an author. Okay, so I just know like probably 30, 40 years ago, it was a lot of times like this person has a book, it did well, now they have a deadline, this has to get done. And stuff like this. You have to get like an agent, you have to go through a publishing company. But nowadays you have stuff like where you can kind of self-publish yourself a little bit.
A lot of it. I mean, there's literally like 2 or 3 million new self-published titles every year on Amazon. Like it's insane.
I feel like the question he's asking is it better? Like, is it easier with the gun to your head, the deadline with a publishing company over your head saying you've got to give us this many words by this date, or is it easier to be a writer where you can just write and self-publish? Is that the question you're asking?
Kind of, yeah.
But I've never done that other part, so I can't speak on that. All I know is that this is working for me. But like I said, though, there's literally 2 or 3 million titles on Amazon every year that's self-published. And I heard a statistic that something like 80% of all self-released books sell 12 copies or less. Like basically their family and friends buy it and then it just dies.
I wish I had family and friends support.
I hope I'm getting.
No. We would get one at best, Drew.
Yeah. I hope I'm getting the.
It'd be each other.
I hope I'm getting the stats right. I might be wrong on this. I didn't know I was going to be mentioning this, but I believe the median book sells 100 copies. So again, median meaning, you know, half of them sell less than that, half of them sell more. But the average book self-released on Amazon will sell 250 copies because the very top of that pyramid is selling so much that pulls that average up from 100 to 250.
Sure.
And I'm very proud to say that I have sold far more than 250.
Really?
So on
I see this. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't. We don't.
That's awesome.
This again, there's nothing to talk about. But the point is, it does make me feel better. I'm still losing money doing this.
So in the
knowing
world
that I'm somewhere in a percentage that is more than most makes it. It makes me want to keep going.
Yeah, we did this.
It makes me want to keep going.
We did this with the podcast where it's like I remember many times talking about the average podcast only makes 8 episodes.
8, yeah.
8 episodes. The average pod. We're at what 250,000. What do we?
Almost 270. But And I guess, and how I can relate to you in a little bit with like the podcast and being an author is like, you don't want to be focused on the numbers, but at the same time, the numbers are important. Do you, do you go into it like with, okay, it's out there. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to hopefully, be able to have the opportunity to do more. Or is it like, if I sell X number of books or copies of Mostly Human, Mostly Cat, that's a success.
I haven't done that with myself.
That's
so
good.
I think that would drive myself in a hole.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't use that as the value system. It's how I feel about it. As long as I can afford to keep doing it, I'll keep doing it.
And I think that's a good mentality, a good way to do it. I don't get caught up in the numbers. Obviously, I would like more because I want to be able to have that MeUndies ad. God damn it. But
see, we do those ads anyway.
It hasn't happened yet.
We're doing them for free. I'm wearing them right now, and God damn it, am I
wear them every day. Every day.
Are you Nutella comfortable?
My Nutellas are comfortable. I will say that.
But no, yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm really happy for you, and I hope the success continues and you're able to. Would you turn it into a series, a Netflix series? They want to pick it up.
100%. Yeah, 100%. If everybody's listening, if you're an agent, if you're a major publisher, if you work for Netflix or Amazon or Hulu, absolutely give me a call, because that is what I'm doing. I am trying to set this up for a streaming series or a series of movies.
Hell yeah.
I think about that while I'm doing the drafts. Like, I'm making sure that you need regular customers, and you need the same people working at the store, so you can have famous people doing these roles. You have to have recurring roles. And they're absolutely there, but each episode would be also a new protagonist you've never met before, or two.
Could you in one of your books that you maybe haven't finished yet or that you're working on, can you just name a character, Drew, in like a brief character, like the man selling
sounds
fish?
A little beggy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna throw that out there. It sounds a little beggy, Drew.
I'm just saying.
I can name a beggar, Drew. I can absolutely do that.
I'll be a beggar.
He's a homeless man, and he asked for money.
Yes. Just be like, I passed the local beggar. His name was Drew, and then that's it, and then nothing more. Just a little...
Well, you know what's
he
funny
begs for donuts, and that's how you know it's true pleasure.
If I decide to write a book in the present tense, I'll call him Draw.
You know what's funny? It's funny because
I like it. I like it a lot.
My friend's dad, believe it or not, used to call me Draw.
Nice.
He did pass away, sadly, but yeah, he would always. I'd walk in and he'd be like, "What's up, Draw?" So that's
I will say this, and this is out of my own hubris and my own narcissistic ego. I read Mostly Human, Mostly Cat, and because I don't even know why I did this. Normally I don't, but because I know you, I read the acknowledgments.
Are you in it?
At the end, Rob acknowledges everybody he's talked to, everybody that's listened to him, like go through the thought process. It's and you can take 5, Rob.
You took 20 earlier.
Anybody that is listen to him like talk about his books. He's so fucking. He's got a memory that I don't understand how he remembers all these people and all these things. But he acknowledges anybody that like gave him input, gave him feedback, gave him an ear while he was like, I need to work through this shit. And that's at the end of each book. And my narcissistic egotistical self goes like, in Mostly Human, Mostly Cat, I found myself on that list.
Hell yeah.
And I go, you know what? My first thought was, I could die today. I could leave California right now, but there's proof. There's proof that I was here. There's proof that I was on this planet because of Rob Weldon. He proved that I existed.
And if you ever want to put a podcast platform on your next acknowledgement, feel free.
Like Drew's narcissistic self is going, I thought the podcast did that. I thought the podcast proved that you existed, but apparently you needed to see it in black and white.
There's probably almost 1,000 hours of Robert's on the internet.
Your whole life is on this podcast, but apparently all I had to do was publish your name somewhere.
Dang.
I'm sorry. I didn't. Now I'm realizing I'm an asshole.
Dudes with brews in the back of the book.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That's cool, man. It's got to be a great feeling.
In the back of my book, I'll say draw and Nutella.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it. See, we're brainstorming, we're spitballing, we're helping with the creative process. I guess this interview was worthwhile. And
you didn't think it would be? I'm sorry.
Only for Rob and like Burbank Bob's and my benefit. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, when you after the first episode that you like when you came on for the first book, our numbers spiked, and we're holding on for dear life.
Shut up. You know what I think it was though? Honestly, this is just me also spitballing. That episode was recorded the last Sunday of August, followed by Labor Day, which is school starting. All the school started. The people went back to regular work lives. I think they just started listening to podcasts again, and I just happened to catch that wave. And now you guys think it was me, and I'm okay with that. I'm not saying it wasn't me, but it probably wasn't.
I think
we'd have
the
to call
guy
you Shaggy if it was.
There was a guy in Louisiana that was like, you know what? I'm just going to search the name Rob Weldon for. I don't know why, but it came to my head.
Yeah, all those hundreds of books, not thousands of books, hundreds of books are just speaking volumes. Get that joke? Speaking volumes.
Get it. Okay, well, we'll wrap it up.
Are we at the point? Do we have to do the? Are we ending now?
I got some few more things. Rob.
Okay, good.
You have do you got some stuff coming up that you want to promote first?
Yeah, I'm doing my first ever book signing in store
awesome.
at the Crooked Path in Burbank. It's on Magnolia Boulevard. It's an apothecary, so they do my books are for sale there. It's not a bookstore per se, but they do have some racks of books. And I can't believe it didn't dawn on me earlier on. I was just telling Rob this yesterday. I didn't realize it's not just an in-store, because an in-store sometimes feels a little bit like a funeral, because they read their little excerpts, they sign books, which is like visiting the cask. They get in a line and they spend 30 seconds with it and they just keep moving on, or 10 seconds. No, this is the first lodge. Like, all the events in my book series are called lodges. Omniscients are the people who speak on the stages, and they speak their truth. And it could be bizarre stuff like, worship the goddess Fomotalia. She's the goddess of Fomo. Modern gods for modern needs kind of thing. Like, yeah, this is lodge. This is the first ever lodge. The premier lodge is going to be this. So I'm going to have somebody reading haiku that is inspired by the book series. I'm going to have somebody else doing free tarot. I'm going to have somebody else. She's going to be the omniscient for surrealist sexualities. Yeah. And she's amazing. And she literally wrote a book on surrealist masculinity. So, like,
she's what like an awesome dean. Person. She's a dean at a college.
Yeah.
Very smart person.
Yeah, amazing. And I don't know. It's just going to be, like, super fun. It's going to be like in the book. It's going to be lodge stuff. So it's very communal. And selfishly, I don't want it to be about me.
Yeah.
And
selfishly, I will say I'm going to be speaking there.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, is Burbank Bob gonna be doing kick flips to like?
I'm gonna be the if you want to put it in Christianity terms, I'm the priest for the god of litany.
But in my books, it would be the omniscient.
Yeah, the omniscient for the god of litany, making lists. So I'm gonna talk about how to create order out of chaos, but not succumb to the rut of the web of internal thought, by creating lists, and how that can it's a ladder to salvation through the chaos of the universe. Making lists, that's litany. It's an amazing thing, and I use it.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's I'm excited. I'm also terrified.
That's probably one of the first topics that Burbank Bob has told me that I didn't say, like, think about that again.
Yeah, that's true. You're right about that. Yeah. He's like, maybe.
I think it's actually a really good idea because I love the visual of if you make lists. Like, just imagine numbering a bunch of empty lines going all the way down, like 1 through 1,000 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if you space them out enough, you can climb them like a ladder.
Right.
Like you can get to your nirvana, like climbing your list.
With Kurt
like,
Cobain.
I can visualize it.
I'm gonna throw this out. This is an idea I have, and I haven't told him about this, so I want to see his reaction is going to be.
Or do you want to just break it out?
No, it's gonna be a live reaction on our podcast. I have an idea of going like, is anybody in the audience one of these go with the flow people? and there's got to be one. This is there's Wiccans here. They're definitely go with the flow people, and I'm gonna go. When somebody raises their hand, I'm gonna go. All right. I appreciate. I love that enthusiasm. What did you do today? And when they tell me what they did today, I'm gonna. That's a list. That's a list that your brain makes to tell you the things that. Yes, you don't make a list for the future, but you make the list for the past, so that you can erase it from the list that you didn't make for the future.
It's gonna be a TED Talk.
That's whole omniscience definitely do TED Talks.
So I want to know, should I try that? Does it make
Why
sense?
not? Absolutely.
I thought you were gonna say
fuck with the concepts. That's the whole idea.
I thought you were gonna say, once somebody raises their hand, be like, all right,
you're out.
Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out.
Go with the flow. You've been kicked out.
Yeah.
I have a list of people that shouldn't be here. You're on it.
I like it.
To ask people, what's 100 minus 14?
It's 86. Get out of here.
Beautiful.
I just put it together. It took me a full second after I said 86 to put it together.
I like it. So, well, Rob.
By the way, so that in-store is this coming Saturday, March 4th at the Crooked Path in Burbank. It's on Magnolia Boulevard, 5 p.m. So it goes for 90 minutes. They close at 7.
There are people in LA now that are listening because I've talked to them.
Nice.
They exist. They're here. They're real. They're like aliens invading.
Well, you should make a list of their names.
Get over here. Get over to the Crooked Path.
That's right. Make a list of the people you want to come. In more ways.
I'll make a list of people who don't come.
Ooh. I got a long list of that for you.
Whoa.
Am I on it?
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Oh, I thought I made you that. No, never mind. Okay, so Rob Weldon, we appreciate you coming on. It's always fun. You got 3 books that are up for grabs on Amazon.
Cosmia Spiritual Emporium, Mostly Human, Mostly Cat, and The Omnist and the Cosmic Egg.
Everybody should read it. Everybody should give it a 5-star review. Everybody should share your shit, pump your shit, because you're one of the real people of LA. You aren't some fancy Brad Pitt motherfucker. You ain't some fucking
Michigan.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Michigan. No one's from LA. Michigan to LA.
No one's from LA.
It's true. Though.
It's true.
Except for people that go to Tony's. People go to Tony's.
Kimbrough's from LA, and you know what she does? She reads Rob's books.
Exactly.
That's true.
So be like them. Be like the real people, real deal. Grinding out there, writing the pages, creating the stories from your head. Crazy shit.
All right, it's late there. But I like that you have caffeine in your brain.
Yeah, it's 8:30.
This guy doesn't stop. He's a master. We've already discussed this. It's Master Drew over there.
Drew actually has more energy than last time. I already liked you, but now I like you even more.
I don't know what.
I mean, to come up with the idea of COVID from COVID's point of view, and also the devastation of making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You're a better writer than I am. Why didn't you come to LA?
Why don't you do 3 perspectives and triangulate the truth of a fucking peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
From the bread, the peanut butter, and the jelly.
Exactly.
But there's 5 perspectives. The knife and the person wielding the knife. So there's 5 perspectives in making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I mean, in reality.
I thought of all those ideas while taking a shit today.
So was there peanuts in it?
Well, he needed.
I bet you there were.
He needed the knife to break breakup.
Yeah, the poop knife. But I mean, that's another story. You know, like the
I used a spoon, but whatever. It's
Dude,
potato.
Drew, you have a homework assignment.
Okay.
Next time I talk to you, I want you to tell me about your poop knife story that you wrote.
Yeah.
I can do that. I could do that.
Okay.
I can
I
definitely
need you to
do
write a poop knife story.
That's in his wheelhouse. I mean, that's right.
Don't put the poop knife in your wheelhouse. That could be a problem.
It's just what he does. I've known this guy for a long time.
I do poop a lot, so
He puts it right in the wheelhouse, and it hurts, but he continues to do it.
yeah. But Rob, thank you so much again for joining us. Where can people follow you?
I thought you were talking to me. I'm Bob today.
Sorry,
I was like,
Drew,
that's so nice, Drew.
Drew, can you say that again?
Where can people keep up with you on social media and see all the things you got going on?
First of all, on Amazon, I'm literally the only Rob Weldon, Weldon. I am on Facebook, same thing. Search me, I'm there. And Instagram, you'll find me, but my screen name is Bloodren, because that's an anagram of Rob Weldon. So there's already too many Rob Weldons out there, so I went with Bloodren.
Isn't it Blood.Ren?
It's Blood.Ren, but there's no Bloodren straight through either.
Okay, okay.
Now that I said that there will be, I just
we'll put it. We'll put your stuff.
We
on
have
the
so
show
many
notes.
listeners. They're gonna fucking.
Oh, and by the way, I joined Mastadon back in like early December. Fuck Twitter. I'm gonna say it again. Fuck Twitter. Fuck Elon Musk. Mastodon is so much better. It's amazing. Also, Rob Weldon.
Mastodon. I thought you were talking about the band.
I thought he was too.
I love
literally. I was like, when did you join Mastodon?
And I've seen Mastodon play several times. They're actually fucking amazing. They're sick.
Nice.
I love them. But yeah, Mastodon is a social media site that it has exploded since Twitter's inevitable downfall. But as Twitter's been falling, Mastodon's been growing, and it's actually, I don't know, just there's a lot more reason out there. And
let's get off Twitter. Dudes with Bruises getting off Twitter. Let's get on Mastodon.
What's interesting?
Drew, get on that. I don't have to do any work. I'm going to say it out loud.
I'm not joking.
And Drew has to do the work. I know.
So Mastodon, it's spread out different servers. There's like, I don't know how many servers. Like, let's say 80 servers. There's probably more.
You guys keep talking.
So basically, if one server goes down, all the others are still fine.
Nice.
It's not owned by anybody. There are no ads, so it's non-profit. But yet, it went from like 3 million users to 6 million users to 9 million users. It's growing very fast now. And I'm getting a little drunk. I like this. It's good.
Good.
But you know what I mean? It's growing very quickly. But what's cool about it, like I said, and there's no algorithm. So because no one's trying to sell you ads,
sure,
you make your own algorithm. So you follow people, obviously, but you can block people, and it's all real time. So I don't know. Just the algorithm's up to you. How you behave is what you get back.
Well, I'm downloading Mastodon right now, and I will make an account, and we will go from there. But 3 beers were drank on this show. Talk about yours, Rob. Did you enjoyed it? Is it good? You just said it gives me a little.
Yeah,
tipsy.
I actually really liked it, and it's like I tease Allagash all the time because people will, they want Allagash White because that's like the, that's the cliche.
Mm-hmm.
And like out here, Eagle Rock Brewing has a beer called Manifesto, and that's the similar beer to it. But this is actually really good.
Good.
Hop Reach, I would definitely drink this again. It has like a pineapple skin kind of vibe without being citrusy, which is really, really nice. It is refreshing. It's only 6.8.
Nice.
I actually really liked it. I would 100% drink this beer again.
Not to be narcissistic, but I picked it out. I bought it. I got it.
You got it.
I was like, that's the one.
Good. Rob, Burbank Bob, you drank Cruisin' U.S. Haze. Was that delicious or?
Oh my God. I literally have been pouring my empty can into my glass going, I wish there was more in the can. For an 11%, is really good. I will say the pineapple, I didn't taste that. The orange is very upfront. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it.
Excellent. I drank Revolution Brewing Company's Pursuit of Freedom, the strawberry lemonade fruit sour. It's good. I couldn't have more than one at one sitting because too much sugar it upsets my tum-tum. But it was really good, and I would definitely have it again. So 3 beers, all successful, all delicious, and 3 books from Rob Weldon, and Burbank Bob has 3 Nutellas. So from there, we have come full circle.
3 balls. He's got 3 balls.
I do.
We've come full.
If nobody followed the episode, I split my balls from 2 to 3, and
It happens.
I'm the next step of humanity. That's
I think
what
so.
hear.
We've come full circle for another great edition of Dudes with Brews on the porch. Stay thirsty.
Snowy porch.
You know, praise the almighty egg, cosmic egg.
Yes.
And buy our t-shirts.
Buy all the t-shirts.
Buy this one. I love it.
If you follow Bloodrun on Instagram, you'll find a link to his Mostly Human, Mostly Cat t-shirt as well.
Good.
So buy that. Buy everything. Support local. Support international. Support worldwide. I forget this is a podcast. These people are anywhere on the planet. Support humanity. We'll go with that.
I thought you were going to go into like another 20-minute rant. No. All right, we got to go.
Audio. Goodbye, everyone.